Scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, and today we are starting off in Silhouette because I have this free donut cut file for you, and I'm going to be showing you how to fill it in with patterns to print and cut in Silhouette. Obviously you can cut it on already printed patterns, but I'm just going to show you a little trick. You can open up the patterned cards or any patterned file and just drag and drop them directly into each of these little frosting rings for the donuts. And I'm just picking ones that will sort of mix and match and look like a colorful box of donuts. And then I'm going to have a solid paper for the actual donut rings. So I'm going to go into the 6x8 papers and drop the cream solid. And now I have donuts that are ready to be printed and cut. I'm going to have to print and cut these separately. So I'm going to change this to 8.5 by 11, and then I'm going to turn on the print and cut lines, and then I will send it to the printer and then to the Silhouette twice, once for the rings, once for the icing. And then when I'm done, this is what we get. So we have icing rings and this already cut out set of donuts. You can see they mimic the donut box behind me, behind my hands in that photo. And I'm just making sure that everything gets colorful, and the colorful ones and the more pastel-y colors. I wanted them separated, make sure that like the bottom of the box isn't heavy with blue and green. Okay, so now they are all adhered and ready to go in my album. I thought maybe I was going to do the white paper, but I decided on this green paper. I immediately nix all of the lighter colors. I really like the green, I think. The red looked really good too, but there was less green in the patterns that I chose, so I decided to go with that color. I need to trim it down to 6 by 8.25, and then I'm just going to adhere it directly onto the cardstock and build my layout on top of this. Now I am working with day 12 and 13 today because this one actually came out pretty quick, and so I thought I would do them together because I'm ending my album, my first album, at day 13. I like to split the lead up to Christmas into 2 albums. That way I can scrap as chunky as I want. I probably could have fit a few more days, but the middle of, not the month, but the middle of the countdown to Christmas is the perfect place to stop. So this page is going to be a single page, and I reprinted that donuts picture to be smaller. I'd had a different idea in mind when I printed it, and then when I decided to go this route, it was too big to fit on the page and not cover up all of those donuts I just worked so hard on. So I thought initially I was going to frame us here and then put the photo of the donuts above us, but I didn't love the way that that looked. So I'm actually going to take it apart and put the donuts there instead. But first I got to come to that conclusion. But now, of course, I have a little bit of adhesive stuck to the bottom corner of that photo. That means I will either have to reprint it or I will have to work it out, which I end up working it out because I'm too lazy to reprint. So that looks much better there, and then the photo of us can go underneath the donuts, and I think that that will spread out on the page real nicely. I don't mind that the majority of these donuts got covered up. You still get the impression of what it's supposed to be underneath the photo, and I think it works out pretty well. I'm using my adhesive eraser to get off as much of that adhesive as I can. It's a crapshoot. When you use it on top of photos, a lot of times it won't work, or it will take the actual print off of the photo, but neither of that happened. It kind of worked, and I'm just going to use something to cover it up. So this is already cute. That cluster came from a DIY Your Scraps reel that I did on Instagram. It will be linked in the blog post below if you want to look. But because it was already done for me, all I had to do was nest my photos in there and add a couple of embellishments, including the number, and I'm going to add a little label down here. I don't need any journaling. We get seasonal donuts every Christmas, well, most holidays, but this year we went to Duck Donuts instead of Krispy Kreme, and they were so much better. My family doesn't actually really enjoy Krispy Kreme that much, so I just get them because they're cute. But I got these ones that look delicious, maybe a little less cute, but delicious, and they tasted so much better too. All right, so that is it for this page. I'm just going to add this little branch here, and then we're going to move over to Photoshop so that I can show you how I put together the page that I made in my DIY, not DIY, No Stress December Daily pages. has a bunch of tags, and I'll show that to you in a second. So I'm actually printing all of these photos the same size as the tags, and I'm just using one of the tags as a template to do that. I split this tag in half by using my what is it, my lasso tool, to go from one corner to the other, and then I duplicated the top so that now I have a split tag down the middle diagonally for this story, which is the only one that needed two photos. My husband is drinking a lot of Scooter's coffee. I am drinking a lot of amaretto creamer. I wanted to be able to say that we were doing two different things because it used to be that I was the drive-through coffee addict, but now it's him, so it's pretty funny. Anyway, so I printed those out, and I'm just going to trim them down with my trimmer, and those are actually already ready to go. I don't have to do much else to this page. That's why these two pages went together really well in the video, because this one was already done for me, and you'll see the page here in a second. It was part of my DIY Your Scraps. I keep saying that, not DIY Your Scraps. My no stress December daily prep videos. The most stress about those December daily prep videos is remembering their name. All right, I've snipped off all these corners, and then the last thing I'm going to do is add in some journaling to these tags. So I went ahead and drew a journal box with my text tool, the same size as the blank spot on that tag, and I'm just letting it fill in with the placeholder text, and I'm copying it over and filling in all of the spots on all of these tags with the placeholder text. And then I will go back once everything is sized right, and I will go ahead and add my own text, and then I will print it. So the way that I like to do this, I'm printing on actual tags that I've already printed. So the way that I like to do that is I like to print this just like it is on just real fast draft copy through my printer on regular printer paper. It looks like this. Now I'm going to take washi tape, and I'm going to tape each one of these tags on top of that printed tag with as little washi tape as possible. Now I don't washi tape enough the last one, and it moves, and you will see that, and I'll have to reprint it. But because washi tape is supposed to be mostly removable, most of the time it is, but it can also pull the print off of your cards if you're not careful. So I like to use as little as possible. This was too little, it moved. And then I go in, and after I've got it all taped down, I print it without the tags, so only the journaling prints. So you can see that one up there, it moved up as it went through the printer, so I'm gonna have to reprint that one. But now I'm just very carefully taking off all of the tape as well so that nothing rips. And then I can go ahead and replace the ones that are placeholders on my page with the printed ones. So you can see I already have the placeholders over there, as well as the placeholders for the photos. So I'm just going to start deconstructing everything and reconstructing it, which just involves a lot of me pulling the tags off of this page and then retying the bows. But I'll show you a couple, and then we'll fast forward so you don't have to watch me do all of them. So I just tying the bow, and then I'm going to pair each of these tags with the photo underneath it. That makes the most sense, because if I did the one in between the two, then which one gets the photo? But the one underneath makes the most sense to me. I'm going to make sure it's aligned as much as possible. Then I'm going to repeat the process with all of the rest of these tags, and we will fast forward through that because that is a long and boring process. So now I've got the donuts done, and I've got this one done. Literally just replaced the tags on that one. I decided I wanted a little bit of a divider between the two, so I used this Ho 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 that I printed on acetate. It's one of the papers from the collection. I printed it on acetate, and then I put a holographic sticker sheet overlay over the top of it, so when you turn the page it has like holographic stars, and I'll show you a picture of that at the end. And I'm just going to put this pink circle with the number on the front. I thought maybe I'd use the label on the front, but I like the pink circle better. And then on the back, I'm going to use the label with a round sticker that says today. I thought today would be appropriate for a currently tag. perfect. And then that is about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. Love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci and Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There's a link in the description box below to the blog post for this page, which will have the link to the freebie, the link to all the credits, as well as a link to like the sticker paper if you wanted to look that up. All right, thank you.